Good morning, everybody. Can you hear us fine? This is Antoinette.
Ian and Jeff here. They're here. I think they're at the parade.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Good morning. Yes, can hear you.
Okay, we'll be ready in about 1 minute. We're gonna give a couple more people a chance to sign on. Thank you guys for your patience. And please place your phone on mute. I can hear a person typing.
Hey, is anybody there?
Hey, Vicky, yes, we're just waiting for a couple more of our folks. Thank you for being here.
I don't hear anybody.
Can you hear me, Vicky? Can anybody else hear me?
I can
We
hear
can
you,
hear you,
Antoinette.
Internet, and I can hear Vicky too.
Yeah, we can
Okay,
hear.
I can hear Vicky, but Vicky can't hear us. She's not on mute. Vicky, can you hear us? Vicky, can you hear us now?
I can hear you now. Yep.
All right. Good morning.
Good morning.
We'll be starting in about 1 more minute. We're waiting for you know who, Melvin. It's always either Samson or Melvin's fault.
All right. Sounds good.
Thank you.
So is this just the Fullerton team today?
Yes, and Zeta, SB, and Kimberly have joined us too.
Okay, excellent. Thank you.
Sure.
I believe Xiaodong's also here. I don't know if you mentioned her.
Oh yeah, I'm on. Thanks,
Good
Zeta.
morning.
Good
Oh,
morning.
hey, sorry, I
Yep.
missed you.
That's all right.
Okay,
The
I'm
CO team.
gonna step away for like 90 seconds. I'll be right back, okay?
Okay, thanks, Vicky.
Antoinette, have a couple bites.
Vicky, we are ready whenever you are.
Okay, I'm ready. I'm here, ready to roll.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Okay, so let's go ahead. Vicky, this is our agenda for the day, and part of our team, the team on both sides that do the work, really haven't had a full walkthrough of creating a job rec and our position description, and then creating that rec, and then the posting piece. So if we can like just go through a fast demo, maybe quickly, and it doesn't have to be really quick, because I don't think we'll need more than an hour with our questions.
Okay.
So go ahead, I'm going to stop sharing so that you can share.
Okay.
And welcome to our campus partners too. And thank you, CEO team, for being here. I see that we have you, Jean, Joe, Wilson, who are from our IT team. So thank you guys for being here. And thank you, team Chancellor's Office, for being here too. Okay, thanks, Vicky. I'm going to stop sharing now.
Okay, sounds good. So just to confirm, what you want me to demo is how to create a position description and how to create a requisition. Is that right? Yes? So I'm not hearing anybody. So if that's wrong, stop me.
That looked like what was on the agenda, so.
Okay, thank you. All right, so to create a position description, a new position description, if I'm starting from the recruiter dashboard, it's going to look like this, and there's going to be there's a link over on the right-hand side right now. Our menu, this little menu up here, is gonna have a new home on the left side as we build out our new
Vicky,
Vicky?
Vicky, you're not sharing.
You aren't sharing.
Okay, my mom always told me to share and I always forget. All right, can you see it now?
Yes.
All right, sorry about that, guys. All right, so the menu right now is over here. Eventually, it's going to find a new home over here. So we're going through a little bit of a UI update, and so that's one of the things that'll be changing. But for now, this is the recruiter dashboard. And if you have the recruiter dashboard, you would find the managed position descriptions link over here in this dropdown. All right. If you have the hiring manager dashboard, and let me just switch over to a hiring manager so that, and I won't do this the whole time, but just to give you just a little idea on how it looks differently. So if you jump in and things look totally different to you, it's probably because you have a different dashboard. And that was not a good one to pick. Sorry, looks like our hiring manager permission group doesn't have the right dashboard. There we go. So, oh, I'm not even in the right instance. Sorry, guys. Sorry. Anyway, the hiring manager dashboard that you just saw, that is what you would see when you come into PageUp. So give me 1 second. All right. There we go. So you can see I'm in beta right now, which you can see the menu is over here on the left. But I'm going to jump out of beta. And now my menu is over here on the right. So this is the recruiter dashboard. If I go to the hiring manager, you're going to see the hiring manager dashboard. We are getting a lot of permission groups in here now, so that is cool. Anyway, you saw the bubble dashboard. It's the same thing. There, the menu would be on the right-hand side. So if I go back to my home page and I come to my menu and I select Manage Position Descriptions and create a new requisition, I can click on that. And from here up on the top, and let me make this a little bit bigger. On the top, I have this link here, Start a New Position Description. So if I just click on that link, it opens up the position description form. And from here, I can start to build out my position description. So there is a link here with kind of a help cheat sheet if you need it. It's a really good reference, and it helps put some clarity around what some of the fields are needed for. Anywhere where you see this little asterisk means that it's a required field. So if you get to the bottom and there's something that is one of the required fields that are left open, you'll need to go back and complete it. So from here, if I just go through and start to build out the data that is relative to the position description, I just go in and fill out fields. When you get to this, there's like a little blue drop down that shows some relative information to the job code and the employee classification. And then you can select a position number if there is a position number. And right now we don't have your position data all in the system. We're working on getting that, but you can see there's also a blue drop down box here that would list some relative information. And then we put in the working title, and this is the title that is going to appear on your career site. So if I just said like, have no idea if that is an accurate title or not. And then you can go through and I'll just go through and just start filling out some of the fields. This is going to be a campus, and there's actually 4 different levels. So you may not have heard us talk through what hierarchies are, but if you haven't, this is a hierarchy structure within each campus. So the highest level on the hierarchy is going to be your campus. And then below that, this may or may not be accurate data. I'm thinking it might not be, but you can see that you can build out additional levels.
Vicki, use the vice president of HR. That one is built out some.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Yep. So you can see these are conditional. So when I select Office of President, there isn't anything in these next 2 fields that I'm able to select. But when I select Vice President of HR, you can see now I have some values to select from. So if I pick diversity and equity, you can see now this field opens up as well. So there's 4 different levels of the hierarchy, and there is a team that's working on building that information into a file so that it comes into PageUp, and you'd be able to select those values as you go. And these are just some other fields that you can fill out. And then down here is details relative to the specific the specific job. So all right, and then you can go through the qualifications. And then I'm not going to put any other ones in here, but you kind of get the idea. You just fill in the information and fill out the fields that are required. And then here, add job duties. This is something that is kind of nice if you have specific duties and responsibilities that you want to add. And then you can add in a percentage of time. So this percentage of time, when you're finished, it'll sort from highest to lowest, but it isn't going to do a calculation. So you could essentially put in here 1,000 and the system doesn't care. So just something to keep in mind, but and here we could put like 50% of the time, and then so just some crazy examples. Anyway, so you can add in job duties, and then you can add in selection criteria. And the selection criteria is something that'll be utilized by search committees to evaluate an applicant. So if you utilize search committees within a job, then you can add the selection criteria here. So you can add it on the fly, which means I can just type in some text here. And then there's options here. So you could say that's a minimum qualification and you're going to add it. So when I'm a search committee member, this is going to come up for me to say, yes, this candidate does meet the criteria, or no, they don't. I can also add selection criteria from up here, and there is a list there. And this is not something that has been built out yet, but eventually there will be a list that you would be able to choose from, and you can just add it here. So you can see I selected that one, and it puts it here for minimum qualifications. So you have the option of selecting from a predetermined list or adding a list on the fly. And again, these are values that are going to come in to the search committee as they review applicants. And then down here is just some additional information. I'm not going to go through all of those, but this area is pretty significant here. So this is the information that is actually going to populate on the career site. So we'll take a look at was there a question?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Melvin has a quick question, Vicki.
Yeah, if you could scroll up, Vicki, to the selection criteria.
Yep.
You talked about add, you click add on there. Are we able, is that something that you'll be providing that build out, or we're building that out?
That's something that you all will need to build out. So
Okay.
we can certainly provide direction and show you how to do it and where to do it. But you'll have all of the values, and we'll be able to build that out.
Thank you.
Yep.
But Vicki,
Yes.
in that area, we have to have our certain categories, right?
In this area,
Yeah. Like there's levels and groups, so we have to follow. I can't recall which iteration we did this in,
yeah.
but there are certain things that we'll have to group it in, Melvin. So you and Robin will need to, if faculty chooses to do this, have
Yeah.
some conversation so that you guys can build your groups.
Yeah.
Because it's one grouping for our campus, not each area.
So are these limited to, Vicky, to the campus? Because I see that SLO has theirs. Will it be only accessible to Fullerton? Like say, you know, where it's not, where we're not sharing across system wide.
Yep. So this area is an area where you would use your naming conventions. So just like SLO has here, SL manages complexity. So there really aren't a lot built out right now. Basically, this is it. So as you start to build them out, you would want to make sure that you put your naming conventions in, and then you would be able to filter by that naming convention. So you can see here, easily I can find SLO, I can group, I can pull up the SLO group, and I can see just theirs.
So Vicky, good morning. This is Phoenicia. I have a quick question.
Yeah.
So that means that it's system-wide that the information's in there, and a hiring manager could go in and accidentally select another campus.
Yes,
If we give them that access.
If we give them that access.
that's correct. Yep. So that, and that's a good point too, if you give them that access. So if you have a group with a specific permission group, you can remove, you can hide these fields so that they don't have access to it. All right. So going back down to advertising summary, when we get to your career site, and actually I'm just going to pull it up right now so that I can show you what I'm referring to, because I think it's easiest to look. So give me 1 second. All right. Okay. So here's your career site. And you can see here that there is like a description here, and here's a description, and here's a description. And then when I click on the link, the actual link, it brings me into a full description of that specific job. Let's see if I can find one that's more built out. So you can see here that there was an image added there, and I'm going to show you where that's done. Let's see. Here's a nice one from Cal State Fullerton. So you can see that all of this information has been built out and provided. So the difference that I'm trying to show you is the difference between the actual job text, job details, and the posting. So where this comes from is the summary that you see here on the listing page. So the summary here, the summary here, and the summary here is coming from this field right here. And then when you're on the career site and you actually open up the job, all of this information is coming from this box here. So here's your summary, and so there could be, that could be your advertising summary, which is going to appear on the job listing page. And then there's 2 different templates that you can choose from to help you organize your the information that you're presenting. So if I go ahead and click here, yeah, that wasn't supposed to do that. I'm wondering if somebody changed that link. Hang on. Somehow that link might have gotten changed. Let me try the other one. So this is what should happen. It should open a Word document for you. And here's the Word document. It's super duper little. flipped over to my other screen. So here's the Word document, and you can basically just click and copy the table, go back to your job posting, and paste it in here. And the benefit of using this is it keeps some consistency to your job postings. So you could just start typing in anything you want, basically, but I think the recommendation from the primary team is to use these templates to keep everything aligned, and your postings will look a lot better. So then from here you can just go in and start adding some information. You can type it here, or you can go up. You can go up and copy some of the things that you put in before, and you can see my selection criteria and stuff didn't change. Somehow or didn't save. Somehow I got kicked out of here and back in, so I'm not sure what happened, but normally it would be there. And you just can start adding information here, and that's the information that's going to be on the job details page. And then from there, there are some additional fields. And then this field is a required field, and this field is basically who the hiring manager is. This field down here is representative of who the recruiter is. So you have different labels here for those roles, but if you think of it as this is the person that is trying to fill the position or has a need for this position to be filled, and this is the person that is providing assistance in finding the person to fill this position. So this is typically like the hiring manager role. So you would just go in here and you can search for the hiring manager and filter. And I always use Harry Hire for those of you who don't know me, but he's just a system user. So Harry Hire, and then we select an approval process. And this is not going to let me save because I don't have an approval process available to me. And it's probably because I'm not on a team. So right now I'm logged in as PageUp admin. And actually, maybe if I do this. So hopefully, nope, that still won't work. But here you would select an approval process, and I think we talked about approval processes when we were on site, where you can identify one or more approval processes to align approvers with approving this particular position description. So you could have one approver, you could have 3 approvers, but you would just select the appropriate approval process for the type of position description that this is. So since I can't open this, does anybody have questions about that? Or is it you pretty much understand that concept from our on-site? All right.
Vicky, just 1 second, please. I think there aren't any questions.
We'll be back. Hold on 1 second.
Give us 1 second, Vicky.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Vicky, we're ready to keep moving, and there are no questions.
Okay.
Vicky,
Oh, wait.
sorry, Vicky. You know the HR representative? If we wanted it to be a limited group, can we limit that there, or is it something that who has access be able to put anybody in there?
So you can limit it by the approval process. So if you, and we can look at that, I can show you what I mean. If you enter the recruiter's name in the approval process, it'll automatically populate. You can hide that field, and you can hide that field from somebody that is completing the the position description. I think you can. You can on the position. I'm not sure if you can on the position description. But it is a required field, so it would have to be filled out before you could save the position description. It does not, this filter will include all users. So you would need to enter a first name. It doesn't really filter. It doesn't really filter by role or anything like that.
I wonder if it could default in.
So I'll show you how it can default.
There we go. Yeah.
I'll show you. So I'm not going to be able to save this because the approval processes aren't coming up for me. But I'll save it as a draft.
The hiring manager's view, right? Yes.
All right, so if we go to approval processes for the position description. So right here is where if for, let's say this was the biology, I'm going to leave approval process up because it's redundant. So College of Biology, and for the College of Biology, there's two approvers, and for the College of Biology, the HR representative is always going to be Antoinette. So I'm going to find her, and she's there. So if I were to save this, and if I were to select this, this approval process from the position description, Antoinette would automatically populate into that HR representative field. Does that make sense?
Vicki, this makes sense, but we do have a couple more questions. One is can it be more than one HR rep in the approval process? And my answer was yes, because we can add more, right?
Yep. So in this, this HR rep, whoever you put here is not part of the approval process. All this is saying that when I select this approval process, all right, and where's Fullerton? Here we go. Okay, so let me cue this up. Give me 1 second. I do not know why the approval processes are not showing up here. But what this should do is if I saw College of Biology, you would see what I just created. So there'd be one approver that said department admin, and a second approver that would be HR representative. And then Antoinette's name would automatically appear here. So she wouldn't be part of the approval process, but she would, her name would pre-populate here if I selected that College of Biology approval process. Does that make sense?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Yep. All right. So once a position description is created and it is approved, then you can recruit from that position description. So if I look at all of the position descriptions that have been added to the system, I'm trying to find one that has not been approved. And actually, I'm seeing them all. So again, let me go in as Melvin. All right. So here you can see all of the position descriptions that have been added to the system, and it looks like they've all been approved. So if they were not approved, this value right here, yep.
There's a draft at the very end,
There's one pending approval.
and there's one pending where?
Page 2.
Page 2, there's one that's pending.
All right, so Melvin, you must be a super user, huh? Super users will be able to recruit for a position, but let's see who else we can find. And basically all I'm trying to show you is that when you go to recruit for a position, if the position description has not been approved, you wouldn't be able to recruit from it. So this link would be gray. You wouldn't be able to click on this link and start a requisition. But because I'm a PageUp admin, or if you're a super user, you would be able to do that. So I'm just going to go here and recruit for position. So you can see when I open this up, now I've gone from the position description into the requisition, and just notice the different color of the headers, the section headers. Sometimes it can be, because it looks so similar, it can be easy to be in the wrong form. So get accustomed to knowing that the position description has the red headers and the requisition has the blue headers. So you can see here that when I opened up my requisition, a lot of data has already pre-populated. And the fields that have pre-populated, like you can see this is already pre-populated, this is all coming from that position description that I started from. So any of the data that is in the position description, if the field is on the requisition, we can map that data so that the requisition automatically pre-populates with the information from the position description. So then I would go down and select a recruitment process and make sure that all of my required fields have data in them. So I'm going to have to go back here. A lot of these fields are actually going to come over from the position description as well. And that one's good. All right. Leave that there. Those aren't required. Add a search committee. And here again, you can see some selection criteria. This came over from the position description. I just built this out yesterday, so I was looking at it and I stopped kind of in the middle, but looks good. All right, and then here's where you're gonna put in your advertising summary. So you can see that this is blank, and what that tells me is on the position description, this field was left blank. If whoever completed the position description would have added content here, you would see it come across here. And then just for fun, I want to see if this link is working here or what happens. So the link is working on the requisition, but not the position description. So I need to take a note of that.
So Vicki, I have a question. This is Beta. We were noticing you're in beta version.
Yep.
I don't know if we should make mention to which one we should be using when we're in here playing. If that makes a significant difference, because we were noticing in the other version, you could see the options for the approvals.
Oh, is that what it is? But I should still be able to see. So you're thinking because I'm in beta, I can't see the approval option.
Yeah, that was my little comment in chat.
Good catch. So yeah, so I usually work in beta just from
Okay.
I just don't even think about it. I just go in, but Rhonda keeps telling me switch to non-beta, switch to non-beta, because when in beta, that's where they put like new release information or things that they're working on to kind of sort out the bugs before it's released live. So good catch, and that could be a bug. So let me switch to non-beta.
So I didn't know if that was something we should call attention to make sure that we're in one versus the other.
Yeah.
Or like if you run into something like that, then check which one you're in.
Yep. So good question. And just to kind of follow up with that, when you create a user in the system, you can add beta or not. You can add beta to their permissions. So most of your users shouldn't even have access to beta. It would really only be your super users. And the reason you'd want your super users to have access to beta is because when new releases come out, it gives them a chance to go in and get familiar and to kind of test it out and to work in the system using the new features or the new releases, but then they always can go back to non-beta if there is a bug or if something isn't quite working right.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Yep, all of your users really, most of your users, a majority of them, shouldn't even have access to beta. All right, so I'll go and ask the select the recruitment process. And then I'll select this. I suspect that when I switch to non-beta, I might have lost some of my data here. So anyway, you can see that the job summary information didn't come over, so it probably wasn't added. So I'm going to add it there. And then the posting job details information did come over. And then down here under users and approvers, you can see that there is another, what we refer to as a user field here. So, this is anybody who's listed in this field, and it's not required, so you don't have to put anybody in there. But if you did put somebody, if you did add a user to this field, it would simply mean that they have access to this job and the applicants of this job. So we're gonna change the hiring administrator to Harry Hire. And then we have different approval processes. So right now you don't see the approval process that I created before, and that is because we were in the position description. So there's different approval processes for position descriptions, requisitions, and also the offer. So I'm going back up here to this team link. Antoinette, do you recall if you added any approval processes yet for the requisition?
We do. It's called FUL _. It may have been archived.
Well, and I think because I pulled this position description, which was already complete, it looks like it was a slow.
Okay.
So that's why it's pulling in their approval processes. So anyway, you can see here that they've used titles for their approval process. You can use that. You don't have to. You could just have, like, if you wanted to make your approval processes very generic, you could just make them like approver 1, approver 2, approver 3. And then you can see that Samson's name automatically appeared here. So that would be the same as how I added Antoinette's name to that approval process. It automatically pre-populated with Sampson's name here. And then from here, I can click submit. And now it's going to go back and tell me all of the fields that I didn't fill in. So I get this little message up here, and I can go down and easily see what fields I missed. So I'll go fill those in quickly. And hopefully I got them all, and I click submit. So now a new job was created. Hang on, I missed something somewhere. It's a little touchy. It wants you to make sure that you fill out all of the required fields. Oh, so now it's telling me that I have to add users for these approval steps. So okay, so now okay, so now you can see that the that it has been saved and it's automatically applied a requisition number. So now when I go to post the job, if I click on this posting tab, I can add a sourcing channel. And you can see that right now I have website, intranet, and San Luis Obispo and agencies. When you go in as a user from Fullerton, again, right now I'm in as the PageUp admin, so I literally see everything. But when you go in, you wouldn't see this San Luis Obispo. Once you get your career site template prepared and we build your career site, and actually I'm working, I had hoped to get all of the career sites built by today, but I'm falling a little behind. But you should see your career site, your campus career site populate here relatively soon. So you check the box here and you make sure that you have the career site that you're posting to highlighted here. And then you can go ahead and select a posting date, the date that you want the posting to open. You could send this to any date, set this to any date. So if you didn't want it to post for a week and a half, you could select any date that you want. But I'm going to select today's date. And then you can see again that it's pulling over information from the requisition. So you can see this fascinating creative summary that I've created here is coming over, as well as all of the job details that were in not only the requisition, but this actually came from the position description. So you can see how it carries all the way over for you. And then you select the application form. So we're going to select the base application form. And then over on the right-hand side, and you will all do this 8 times before you remember, but you have to also go in and make sure that you've selected options under here. If you don't and you submit it, when you come back to this page, you're going to get a red warning that says, just so you know, this wasn't submitted, it's not posted because it's missing some information. So if you go back in, it will highlight that little area with the red asterisk, and you can go ahead and fill it and then just save it. But as of now, this is posted to the career site. So it takes anywhere between 20 minutes and an hour for that posting to come through, to come through to the career site. So you might not see it right away, but you could see it in a little while. All right, so any questions about the position description and the requisition and how you create them and how you post a job to your career site?
No, Vicky, not from this side.
Okay. All right, so what was the next item on the agenda?
Okay, the next item was the knowledge portal. So in order for our colleagues in IT to, be able to build out our, URLs and different things, I'm going to not sound very intelligent now, because that's not my, space, but do they need to have access to just the knowledge portal, or what type of user access should they have? That's my question.
Sure. So I think you're asking if you want if you want the developers that are going to be building out your onboarding portal to have access to the system, what access do you provide them? Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. So what we recommend is and SB's on the call, so this is a good thing. So SB, we probably want to create just a real general permission group that would we usually create, or many times we have created a permission group that's like technical resource, and we give them very limited permissions, and those limited permissions include access to build out the onboarding portal. So you basically take everything away other than the ability to access that CMS settings or onboarding overall. So that is what I would recommend.
Thank you, Vicki. And the same thing for, what about the job posting site or the intranet site?
Yep. So
Same.
for that, there's nothing that you're going to need or use within the system other than access to the knowledge portal. So even if they're just like a very general user in the system, like I think there's like a base user super permission group. There's a base user permission group. So even if they're given just the super limited access, which I think is base user, they would have access to the knowledge portal, which has all of the information. But in terms of development, there is nothing that they need access to in the system. There's nothing in the system that is relative to developing the career site. So they can basically do that on their own. And then once they have the URL, they can send us the URL and we post it in our content management system. And once that's done, that's when you'll go ahead and see that link to your system or to your career site in the job posting page.
Okay, thank you, Vicki. So then, SB, are you still on?
Yep, I'm still here.
Okay, so then you'll set up the technical user.
Yeah. So
Okay.
SB, I can actually do that for you. I just want to get your permission.
Oh, no. Go ahead. I haven't actually been messing with the permissions too much because we're still revisiting how we're going to set that up.
Okay, great. Then I made a note and I'll add that to my list.
Okay, but it's still our plan to work on our portals and the on-site too, right?
The portals, so when we're
I
on
mean,
site, we won't be working on the branding of the portals. So we won't be working on like what the onboarding portal looks like or what the career site is going to look like. So that'll be done by your developers. What we will be working on during our on-site is building out portal content. So in other words, like what is your homepage going to look like, and what is your what tabs are you going to have on your onboarding portal, and what are those on each tab? What's going to be filled in, or what information are you going to provide to your users? So if you'd like, I could jump into another example, into another campus or another client, and show you what kinds of things, because that is very important. We don't have a defined agenda right now for the next onsite, and we're in the middle of working on it, but we have allocated a substantial amount of time to actually a workshop where you're actually doing the work, and we're there to answer questions and help you through. So if you'd like, I can pull up another career site and show you exactly the kinds of things that we'll be working on. Would that be helpful?
Yes, please.
Okay. So give me one sec. Doing this is what lands me in the wrong client, because I have to open up another client site.
Vicki, I have a quick question.
Sure.
On the job card, the campus location field.
Yep.
Oh, so we were building out our tree, right? And we just want to make certain that we can use that campus location field to mean an actual satellite campus and not the office space that the new hire will be at, or that job is. Because if my memory serves me right, we had talked about having that listed there for the purpose of the onboarding page to have a map or something.
Yep.
Nope.
So hold that thought, and we'll come back to it in just a second.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. All right. So I'm trying to pull over. Okay, so this is Michigan State. And here is their onboarding portal. So what we will not be working on next, or when we come on site, is things like this, like the logo and this bar up here. So this is their header. This all comes from the branding. So how this all looks and the colors that are used all comes from the branding and what we talked about yesterday on the call with your developers. What we will be working on is this. So right now we're on their homepage, and this is the information that populates their homepage. So what is your homepage going to look like, and what information are you going to be providing to your new hires? And then again, what tabs are you going to have up here? So in addition to the homepage, what other tabs are you going to provide to your new hires? What other types of information do you think that they need? So if I go to University at a Glance, they have some really nice links here to different, like their academic calendar. So if this were something that you would want to use or add to your onboarding portal for your new hires, and academic calendar was one, I would have that ready. So I would know exactly where that is stored that you could link to. So if I clicked on this, it actually goes out to Michigan State's website where their academic calendar is. So just kind of thinking through, like, where do you want to link to? What documents do you want to provide? If I go to benefits and retirement, it has information about their health insurance. So this is really nice because I'm sure, as many of you can relate, that's a little bit of anxiety when you're starting a new job. What is my health insurance coverage going to look like? That's one of the first questions a lot of people might have. So just so noting what you're going to present, what different pages you're going to have, and then what is going to be on those pages. So when we're on site, we're actually going to build this. So you're going to be going in and you're going to be typing in benefits and retirement and adding this content and then adding links and things like that. So that's what's on the proposed agenda right now, and hopefully that's what we'll be seeing when we come on site. So that's one of the ways that you'll want to prepare. All right.
Thank you, Vicki.
Sure. And then back to your question, Antoinette, about the job, about the fields on the
This
requisition.
location field.
Yeah. So let's look at that. So there's 2 different location fields on your job card. So one of them is, let's see, right.
Vicky, that's not the job card, is it?
Actually, you know what? I think I'm in Michigan State. See?
Okay.
That's what happens. That's how that happens. Okay. So if I'm here and I click on new job, all right. Now, if I go down to location, campus location. So this campus location is going to be the actual site, I guess, where the applicant or the person that fills this job is going to be located. So some clients will just put their campus, some clients will put a building, and some clients will actually put like an actual floor or a room in a building. So it's kind of up to you guys of how you want to manage that. But this is a shared list. So I would probably put some parameters in place to be able to manage this list.
Vicky, when you say shared, it's shared system-wide?
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
So when you pull this list, it's going to be one comprehensive list. Okay.
Okay.
And then when we get down to this area, which is the posting area, there's another posting location. So as I was building this out yesterday, I did jot down a question that I had about this. And so if you look, yes. So see how Fullerton, and I think this is what you were getting to, Antoinette, you have this Fullerton Arboretum. Is that the right way to say that word?
Arboretum.
Arboretum. Yeah.
Well, if you're from Wisconsin, you say it different.
It's okay.
No, I'm just kidding. Anyway, so you can see here, and I'm in the middle of building this list out, so grouping them by Central, Northern, and Southern California. So this will actually go away.
Okay.
And right now Fullerton is in Central California. It'll be moved down to Southern California.
Woohoo!
A question for, one Fullerton is enough. We don't need one in Central and one in Southern. But anyway, so you'll have to decide as a team, because I'm sure that this is not the only example where you have like satellite locations. So this is something you'll have to decide as a team if you're going to add these to the filters on the career site. So that is where this will make a difference. So whatever you select here is going to be the filter on the career site. So let me see if I still have your career site up so I can
Okay.
give you an example. Where did that bugger go? Hang on, I'll find it.
Okay. And so, Vicky, we can hide the campus location field, right? We don't have to have that on our job card for our campus.
Hang on, which one are you talking about? Because the one for the posting, the other
one with the site, like the physical office location.
Yep, you can hide that one.
Okay.
Okay, so the posting locations that we were just on, you can see how they come through here. So I don't know that there is anything. It doesn't look like there's anything posted to the Fullerton Arboretum. But if there was, then you would see that come through here.
Vicky.
Yep.
The Irvine campus has 3 postings.
Yeah.
Under Southern California. So we would just have to make certain that we list all of our satellites and then check them off for the purpose of posting.
That's correct. So in that posting location, you would check off the actual campus where the position is where they would be working. So if I'm an applicant and I want to work at the Fullerton campus that you all are at, I would want to make sure that I check the Fullerton campus. Or if this job was actually at the Fullerton Arboretum and that was 45 miles away from the actual Fullerton campus, that makes a big difference to me, especially in Southern California where your traffic is crazy. I might not want to drive there. Or maybe I live near the Fullerton Arboretum and that's where I want to work. I don't want to work on the campus itself. So that's how you can differentiate these locations. But I was going to pass it by the team just to make sure that it is okay to add those satellite campuses, because I know that you're not alone and there's going to be other examples like that.
Thank you, Vicki. And yes, we will take it back to our chancellor's office team, and I'm pretty certain that they'll let us put in our satellite campuses, because yes, we aren't the only the only campus that has more than one location.
Yep. All right. Very good. Glad we got that one answered. What other questions did you have? I don't remember your agenda by heart.
You've answered everything else. I'm asking the team if there are any other questions in the room
Regarding the job card or going on?
regarding anything.
Well,
We've already answered that. Anything else for College Park Suite 750 that you guys want to ask? If not, Vicki, I'm going to let our IT team have a little bit of time to ask questions.
Okay.
Anything else, guys? I'm gonna put us on mute. Oh, okay, thank you, Joe. Wilson, you, Jean, if you guys have any questions, please ask.
Yeah, this is Eugene. Can you hear me?
I can, but give me 1 second to turn up my volume because I can barely hear you. So hang on 1 sec. Okay, try again.
Okay, so I have a few questions about the dynamic template.
Eugene, you are very faint. Can you check your mic?
Hold on, let me switch to my headset. Hold on.
And I'm going to do the same, so don't talk for a couple of seconds because it's going to blast my eardrums. So give me 1 sec. Okay, let's do a volume check.
All right, check. Check. Is that better?
Much better.
Yes.
Yes,
Alright.
thank you.
Yep, we're good. Thank you.
All right, so I have a few questions regarding dynamic templates.
Sure.
So my first one is on our campus, our web pages are in PHP,
Yes.
but will that be okay, or should I flatten the page, like just pure HTML and JavaScript?
No, you can attach PHP as well.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. So it won't, because usually we read like XML and stuff,
Yeah.
so it doesn't matter.
No. Mm-mm.
Okay. Okay. Also, the page where the dynamic templates is located, do you know if, like other campuses, if they put that in their production environment? Because my concern is it will be searchable by Google and people might go to the dynamic template.
Oh, so I can't be 100% on this, but I believe it is in their production environment.
Okay.
And I think if you, that's a good question. So can you control that through the metadata in your header? Like if you don't put a lot of detail in your metadata header or the metadata in your header, would that alleviate part of that problem?
I'm not sure. That's okay.
Yep. So
yeah.
Whether you're actually in your live environment or a production environment or test environment, eventually you're going to have it in a live environment probably.
Mm-hmm.
And And honestly, it doesn't really even need to be, it doesn't really even need to be on your website. You could host that URL basically anywhere. So
Yeah.
doesn't do you know what I understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, as long as PageUp
Yeah.
can get to the page.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, as long as it's not secure where you need a password or something
Okay.
to access it, then
Okay.
we should be good.
Okay.
But yeah, and you'll provide us your link, your URL, and we'll post it. And chances are the first time around we might come up with some errors or something, but
Okay.
we'll work with it and we'll get you up and running.
Okay. The other thing is we change our template a lot, including the CSS and JavaScript.
Yep.
So will that cause an issue with the mapping?
So that is precisely the best reason why we have the setup that we do with the URL. As
Okay.
long as that URL does not change, you
Mhm.
can make any changes on your dynamic template whatsoever. It doesn't, you don't need us, you don't need our interaction, you don't have to ask us if it's okay to do it. You make the changes and you're done. So as long as that URL that you provide to us remains consistent and unchanged, you can continue to develop your career site as much as you want.
Is it a real-time change? Like when I change it, it will change in the production?
So good question. So it is not a real-time change. So usually those updates take place overnight.
Okay.
But remember during our call yesterday, I did say that if you remove, once you get the URL, you'll see that there's a /listing. If you remove listing and replace listing with refresh, that will refresh the page.
Okay.
So if I'm an applicant and I go in right now to fill out to look at your careers listing or your careers page, I'm going to see what it is right now. And then behind the scenes, you're in the background, you're making updates, and you change one color from green to purple. And then if you don't click refresh, I'm going to still see green. I'm going to go in there an hour from now, I'm going to still see green. But if you are done and you hit refresh, the page will be updated. And if I go in there 15 minutes from now, I'm going to see purple.
Okay.
All right. But if you leave it sit overnight and don't refresh, then it'll stay green until the automated refresh occurs over the night hours.
Okay. One more. Do we have a test environment to test the dynamic template before moving it to production?
Do you have a chance to change the dynamic template before moving into production?
Like a test environment so that I can see what it will look like in PageUp?
So we don't really have a test environment, but you can send us the URL, take a look at it, and if you absolutely hate it or it's horrible, which I highly doubt that it will be, we can take it down. So we always can take it down, but it's kind of nice to just get like the basic done and get the URL out there and then continue developing, because then you can actually do that refresh and see your progress along the way.
Okay. Well, I just want to make sure that whatever changes I'm making will not cause like more issue in production.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yep. So eventually we will have a test site. So you're thinking about like after you go live and you're making changes and you want to test it. Yeah. So you would be able to, if you had a separate URL for your template, we could put that into the test site at that time.
Okay. And also there's on one of the dynamic template tags, there's a CSS. Is that something we can also change, or is that fixed? There's like a CSS and JavaScript, the tagging.
Yeah.
Is that something we can change, or is that fixed, like only for PageUp?
So you can add the CSS tag and you can add the JavaScript tag into your code, into your as a merge field into your template. Is that what you're asking?
Yeah.
Yep.
Because I think the CSS is for the PageUp style. I'm assuming.
Yep. And then within your template and within your code, you can link to your CSS pages.
Yes, but if I want to change the styling on the PageUp itself, is that something we can do, or?
Yep, you can. So if there is any styling that you would want to change, you would just need to let us know. So those specific CSS. If you did find something that you wanted to change, you could let us know, and we'd have to change that on our side.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, I only been reading about dynamic templates. The onboarding. Yeah, I still haven't worked on that one yet.
Okay.
But.
All right. Well, you just let me know if you have any questions.
Okay.
All right.
Anything else from anybody else? Well, Wilson, Joe, Zeta, Sharon.
I'm good. Thank you.
Thank you, Wilson. Joe, any questions?
No, I think Eugene covered it.
Okay. Thank you. SB or Zeta or Kimberly or Sharon, any questions?
No questions.
No.
All right. Well, I guess it's a wrap up our very first campus specific workshop.
Yay. Thank you, Vicki.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep. All right. Talk to you soon.
All righty. Have a
Thank you,
good
Vicki.
weekend.
Have a good weekend.
Thanks, you too.
Bye-bye.
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 Antoinette, didn't you